What's going on, everybody? Jolt here from TheTokenMinorities, and I am bringing you the Week 10 match of the NPL this week against Richard Arisen and the Oakland Roseraders. Now, Richard has been a huge surprise this season. He was a brand new coach at the start of the season, and his draft really wasn't that great, at least at face value, but throughout the season he's made a lot of pretty good acquisitions and trades that have really given his draft a lot more of a scare factor, I would say, as he has all of his bases covered now, and he did not have all of his bases covered with his original draft. So I definitely commend him for all of his roster changes throughout the season, because now his team is a threat, and his 7-2 record definitely proves that he is a threat. Now, I will say that his biggest strength is his team building. So as I team build for my match against him, I'm going to have to be on my A game, because if I bring anything less than that, I know for a fact I will lose this week, because he is just that good of at preparation. So with that said, let's take a look at what he can possibly bring this week. He's the Oakland Roseraders over here with Espeon, Donphan, Florges, Vaporeon, Talonflame, Sableye, Jolteon, Gallade, Roserade, Vanillix, and Mega Absol. So the most notable things that I see when looking at his team is that his defensive core is 100% disgusting, as he can run Donphan, Florges, Vaporeon, Talonflame, and Sableye, all to be very, very difficult mons to take out. So with that said, I'm going to have to prepare for those 5 in particular, especially considering Talonflame can both be an offensive threat to my team and really a defensive threat to my team if he decides to run Stall Breaker or Bulk Up. So I'm going to have to be very, very careful around Talonflame, and I have to make sure that Florges and Vaporeon are not able to keep his team around any longer than what I want it to be. The one thing I do notice as well about this team is that it seems to be structured really similarly to how my team was structured last season, in that he has Vaporeon and Florges wish support for his overall bulky core that might kind of struggle to survive on its own. For example, Gallade can run an Assault Vest, Roserade can run an Assault Vest. Sableye obviously has Prankster Recover, but it does need to be at high health to be able to wall things because his HP stat is so low, and in addition, Donphan has no means of recovery, so he has a lot of bulky things that are supported by mons that like to run Wish. So that's kind of the general concept of his team, at least in my eyes, and I'm going to do my best to prevent that with my team building. Now, I will say that Richard has already solidified his spot in the playoffs by winning his division. So with that said, I still haven't clinched my spot in the playoffs because my division is just that good. I'm only up by 1 game in my division right now, I believe. So I have to prepare well enough to where I can beat Richard, but I have to make sure that I don't reveal my best possible strategies, because the odds of me playing Richard in the playoffs are pretty high, especially if I win this game and clinch my playoff spot in doing so. So my preparation is going to be difficult. I can't bring the best possible sets this week. I can, but it's pretty bold whenever I want to save my best for the playoffs. So that's just a little bit of a disclaimer as far as the team building is concerned. And due to that fact, I'm actually not going to go into much detail as far as the mons that I brought this week. I'm only going to really discuss the mons that, or the sets rather, that I did have to reveal in the battle. And I'm doing that just to make sure that I have a layer of secrecy around some of the more cheeky sets that I had prepared for this match. Now, this is a post-commentary. I've already had the match at this point, and I'm just giving you that disclaimer now so that you don't complain too much whenever I don't show you my entire team building process. I just need to keep some secrecy in this team building process this week, just in case I happen to encounter Richard in the playoffs. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and jump over to the battle and give a little bit of a team preview analysis. Alright, and here we are with the team preview, and as you can see, I decided to bring Mega Venusaur, Gastrodon, Clefable, Greninja, Terrakion, and Alakazam this week. Now, I don't want to say a whole lot about my reasoning for bringing these mons just because I do want that layer of secrecy that I mentioned before, but I will say the Mega Venusaur's matchup against his team is absolutely incredible. He does have Espeon and Talonflame, both of which can be pretty good against Mega Venusaur, but with the appropriate support, neither Espeon nor Talonflame is really a threat to me, and with that said, I feel like I'll be okay, at least at team preview as far as Mega Venusaur is concerned, because I really don't see him having the best options for taking it out, at least considering what he brought. I will say that something along the lines of a Stall Breaker Talonflame could have been kind of an issue given the team that I brought this week, just because I did more focus on an offensive Talonflame as far as my preparation was concerned. But of course I had options for the Bulk Up Talonflame or the Taunt Talonflame, but just throwing that out there, just something that I did notice this at Team Preview, and I had to keep that in mind as I played this game. Now, as far as win conditions are concerned in this game, besides Mega Venusaur, I do think Clefable is going to be very, very good because I am an unaware variant and I'm going to be able to take hits from really anything on his team. The biggest threats to Clefable, or the biggest threat singular to Clefable, is going to be the Roserade, just because it does have super effective coverage against me, and if he is like a spec Sludge Bomb variant, that actually could be pretty effective against me no matter what Clefable set I brought. And yeah, that's about all I have to say about my team. I do decide to lead off with Greninja in this game, as it is kind of tailored more as a lead, and that it's going to be able to take a hit from pretty much anything, as I am on a Focus Sash in this game. So that's the thought, and I really don't know what he's going to try to lead with. I'm assuming either Talonflame or Jolteon, and either way, I do think Greninja is my best option here. So that's what I'm going to do, and let's go ahead and jump into the battle. As kind of expected, he did lead off with his Talonflame, and I lead off with my Greninja. Now, I do outspeed his Talonflame here, which is kind of interesting, as I am not a Choice Scarf Greninja, so this tells me that this is going to be an Adamant Talonflame, and that damage tells me is Adamant Banded Talonflame, so that is very good information to have on turn 1, and really, turn 1 could not have gone any better in that case, as I'm able to get off 87% with the Scald from Greninja, and that is absolutely fantastic, as now Talonflame is in Rocks range, and if I can find a way to get my Rocks up with Clefable, I'll be in very good shape for this game. Now, here I have a free Sludge Bomb, essentially, with my Mega Venusaur, as he has no switch into it. And now I'm going to switch into my Clefable, scouting for the Extra Sensory, just to kind of see what kind of damage it was. If it was a Specs Roserade and I got flinched by Extra Sensory, then I would have lost my Mega Venusaur potentially on the following turn. With Mega Venusaur being so good in this match, I'm just going to play it very safely against the Roserade. But this damage is telling me that it's not the most invested Roserade. I think it's going to be, because it has Poison Jab, it's going to be mixed investment, probably in attack and special attack. Was kind of my thought. But regardless, between Clefable and Mega Venusaur, I'm able to wall out his Roserade very well. Now here I'm going to go into my Gastrodon, and I am holding a Rindo Berry, so I'm just going to go ahead and scout for the Grass Knot just to see if this is going to be a Scarfed Espeon, as I didn't see an item on it. I still don't know what its item is, actually. But I do just go for the Recover, and he does reveal Grass Knot, so that's good information to have as well. Now here I know, because he is not choiced, I have a very free switch into my Clefable, and due to my investment, I'm going to be able to wall out any kind of non-choiced Espeon with ease, incredible ease. And here he goes for Roost, and I know that he is choice locked into Roost. So now I know it's a perfect time to go ahead and set up my Stealth Rock, as there's no way he's going to go into Espeon. Absol is not Mega Evolved yet, so these rocks are free, and with that, he is now not going to have Talonflame anymore. Talonflame is under 50%. It will die. He has no way to get rid of Hazard, as he does not bring his Donphan this week, and that is absolutely fantastic. Now here he tries to pass away to his Espeon, which wasn't the best play in my opinion, although I can see him trying to do it in desperation because he really needed Espeon to have any chance of taking out Mega Venusaur at this point. But that's kind of how it goes. Now here I do expect either the Zen Headbutt or the Cycle Cut or the Swords Dance regardless. Sludge Bomb was my best play, as without a boost, Cycle Cut does 0 damage to Mega Venusaur, literally, and I do have an unaware Clefable that I can switch in very easily against it, and I'm going to be able to eat up the knockoff and take it out with a Moonblast. So we are off to a very good start. It's essentially a 5-3 score, considering his Talonflame cannot switch back in. So now he goes into his Roserade, and I think I'm actually going to be able to live a Poison Jab, just considering how low Roserade's base attack stat is, and I do just that with my investment. That might have been a roll. I don't know his investment, and I'm not going to reveal mine because I did really like my spread. But yeah, I was able to live the Poison Jab and take it out with the Psyshock, which is fantastic. Then he predicts my switch into my Gastrodon. I was trying to catch him going for a Volt Switch against my Clefable, and he unfortunately gets me there, and I lose my Gastrodon to the Hidden Power Grass, which is fine. But here he's going to sack his Talonflame, as he doesn't have a switch into Mega Venusaur, and that's fine. Now he's going to go back into his Jolteon, which, I mean, I'm just going to stay in on that because there's nothing a Jolteon can possibly do that scares Mega Venusaur. I do go over the Synthesis there just in case he has, I don't know, Hidden Power Psychic. I guess that'd be stronger than Shadow Ball, but I already saw Hidden Power Grass. I'm not sure why I went this first Synthesis there. It really didn't matter. Regardless, I'm just going to stay in and make sure I'm at the highest possible health before taking it out, just to make sure that I'm going to be able to beat the Florges 1v1. I am able to take the Jolteon out here, and he's going to go into his Florges, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch straight into my Alakazam, because I am running Encore on this Alakazam, and I want to make sure that this Florges has no way of beating my Mega Venusaur 1v1, especially if I get a Poison on it. And even so, I do have Terrakion and a Clefable, both of which should be able to do a pretty good amount of work to this Florges if I reveal the rest of my moveset. So I'm going to go back into Mega Venusaur, and this is just going to kind of be in-game here, as there's no way he's going to be able to beat me 1v1 unless he is Calm Mind Psyshock or Calm Mind Psychic, and he apparently does not have either of those. It's probably a support set with Heal Bell, Aromatherapy, one or the other, and then Wish, Protect, and Moonblast. That's my best guess. But yeah, Mega Venusaur is going to close this out here, and we are going to win this match 3-0 with 3 kills for Clefable and 3 kills for Mega Venusaur. So Clefable is most certainly in the MVP race for the NPL right now, which is pretty cool. I'm going to have a 5-0 outing or a 6-0 outing against Cheeseboy with Clefable next week in order to get the MVP award, and that's going to be very tough, especially against a player of the caliber of Cheeseboy. But regardless, we did win this game. We have finally clinched our spot in the playoffs. We have not yet clinched our division, but we have at least clinched the wild card, and if I beat Cheeseboy next week by, I believe, any differential, I will have my my division clinched, which would be absolutely fantastic, considering many people have said that my division in the NPL this season is probably the toughest division in the history of draft formats. So that's saying something, folks, and it's definitely an honor to be at the top of the division right now. And hopefully I can close it out in week 10 or week 11 technically and make up for week 9. Regardless, close it out against Cheeseboy. Thanks for watching, guys. That is the game, and I am very fortunate to come out on top this game against a player of the caliber of Richard, as Richard's preparation clearly was very, very good. He just doesn't have very much on his team to handle Mega Venusaur if I bring the proper support for his mons that can handle Mega Venusaur. But that's the nature of Mega Venusaur, and it's great to have him as a mon on my team. But I'm rambling a little bit now, so thanks for watching, guys. I will see you all in the Week 11, Week 9 makeup against Cheeseboy628 and the Phoenix Sun Kern. I will see you then. Peace.